right, so Jonnazel from Vegas SMP, thank you for coming on the podcast, the Dattie podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me, Joey. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I know we were supposed to last week, but you got a little sick, but you're here now. So I want to know, where'd you grow up? Because most people don't grow up in Vegas, as far as I know. I've been there a few times, but I don't think they're usually born there. They kind of migrate there.
Right. No, I was born in the Philippines. I left when I was 6, and then so I grew up in Sacramento, California. Yeah, my stepdad was in the Marines. That's where my mom and him met, and then that's how we got to the States. Thank God.
So you were in the Philippines until you were 6?
Yeah, I was born there. Yep.
And
Yeah, and then
everyone speaks English in the Philippines, right?
for majority, yeah, because they teach it. Yes.
Okay.
In schools, they teach it.
Okay, so let me back up that. So you're 6, and then you moved to Sacramento, California, and then how long did you live there in California?
I left when I was 18, and I moved here to Vegas when I was 18. So I'm going to be 40 next year. So
No,
I've been
you're
here
not.
for a while now. Yeah.
You're going to be 40 next year?
Yes, July 24th.
Wow. Wow, you look great. Good for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You use your lotion.
I would say I don't stress, but that's not true.
We all do, right? I mean, it's very stressful.
Right.
And just being a business owner.
Man.
So and I saw you're a mom, right?
Yes, mother of 3.
3. And when did you have your oldest? How old were you?
I believe I was 22, 23. Yeah, 23, I believe. Yeah.
And how old are all 3 of your kids?
16, soon to be 14, December 23rd, and then soon to be 6, November 17th.
Okay, so that's the biggest gap was between the middle and the last one. So what's it like?
Well, my oldest is 16. My youngest is going to be 6. So.
Oh, it's 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
First, I want to know. You looks like you got a full head of hair. You're a female SMP artist. How did you get into it?
So my husband's a barber, and I actually remember it like it was yesterday. He was getting a tattoo by a good friend of ours, and the tattoo artist actually told us, "Hey, have you guys heard of SMP?" And this was years ago. I want to say, I don't know, maybe 7 years ago. He brought it up, and we were like, "No, we never heard of it." And he explained to us what it was, and I was like, "Wow, that's actually really interesting, right?" And I had no idea, even like trying to picture it. I didn't even know. But I said, I actually would get into that. And that was it. And then never really thought about it after that. But I want to say, yeah, after the pandemic is when I got into it, mainly because, obviously we got shut down. We were told not to work, not to make money. And I didn't like that. With my job, we made really good money. So when everything shut down, it was like, oh my goodness, we weren't seeing it anymore. So I didn't like that. I didn't like being controlled. I didn't like not being able to feed my family. So I was like, you know what? There's nothing we can do right now. So how about I get licensed? This is my time to finally get into it. I was never able to get into it before just because I was so busy with kids, working 17-hour shifts at my job. I was a banquet server. So we would work like very long hours, 3 days in a row, 17-hour shifts, no break whatsoever. So I wouldn't be able to do anything. So that's how I got into that field, because I didn't like being controlled like in any form. So I was like, let me just do it right now.
Wow. So you were a banquet server. Were you on the Strip at the big hotels? Yeah,
it's at the end of the Strip at the Sahara. It was the Sahara, then it turned into SLS, then it turned back into the Sahara when it got a new owner.
Did you make tips when you were doing that, or were you walking around? Were you one of the tray girls, or did you do it all?
Yep. We held a lot of receptions. During convention season, we're super busy between January through May or March. But yeah, all the conventions would come out here, and we had receptions for them, conferences, all that good stuff. Anything you want, a wedding, anything. If you had the money to do it, it's a lot, but for example, like a gallon of coffee is like $78. I'm sure it's higher now, but
That's a
And,
lot. So how far are you from the
okay.
Vegas Strip now?
Uh, well, now we moved. We moved farther. I'll be around like 25 minutes
Okay.
if there's like no traffic. Yeah, we used to be like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine when you were doing the banquet stuff, you had to be close, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I just recently stepped down from my job to like fully concentrate on SMP too. About like 3 weeks ago, I stepped down. So that's
Congratulations.
like,
So you're now an official full-time SMP artist?
yes, yeah. The plan
That's
was to
a
do it at the beginning of the year. Like I wanted to do it like January, February, because those are the busy months. But you know what? I was like, I think it's time. I was trying to juggle, trying to do content and do banquets, and sometimes I have to be at work at like 4:35 in the morning, and it was just getting in the way of me like making any type of content whatsoever. And I just felt like every time I took 10 steps forward in SMP, like I took 20 steps back when I worked my job. So I finally was like, you know what? I talked to my husband and he agreed. He's super supportive in everything that I do. So he said, I trust everything that you want to do. And if you feel like you have to do it, then go ahead. So yeah, about 3 weeks ago, I stepped down. So I'm
that's
super
a
happy
big
about that.
milestone. That is a big
Yeah.
for anyone listening. I mean, it's huge. I mean, you've probably been working at your job for a while. You have security with it, and then just to be a full-time entrepreneur, it was scary. I know exactly how it feels.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, I just had to put my faith into it. I mean, I'm a big believer, and I talk to God about everything. So I told him how I felt about it and how nervous I was, and he pretty much gave me confirmation because after we made the decision officially, 3 days later, I got like 5 clients within 3 days. So I was like, oh,
Fuck
thank you,
yeah.
God. So yeah, that was confirmation for me. So I feel good. I love SMP. I love what it's bringing out. And that's why like it is such a blessing to be on your platform too. And I'm super grateful for that. So thank you. Thank you for this.
Yeah, yeah. I want you to come on. One of the things that I saw, I like how you brought up the content, is you do nonverbal communication very well. And what I mean by that is I seen you have multiple videos where you don't talk. It's you, but you're doing hand signals and you have music and you have captions. And the whole goal is to communicate to the audience and tell them and speak to them and being creative. And I think you do that really well. How did you come up with that, or what did you do? What inspired you? Did something trigger in your head and you were like, I'm going to try that?
Well, for me, one of the things I want to work on is speaking. So I think that's kind of like the easier way to connect with people without necessarily having to verbally connect. And I do know that, people's attention span is not as long. So you have to like gravitate them as quick as you can. And that's, with music or whatever. And so, yeah, that's what I'm learning. I mean, I'm still learning as I go, to be honest. Whatever I feel like doing, I kind of just do. Um, but I just now started learning about like social media and, 7 seconds, trying to keep within that time frame. For me, I know that a lot of pauses need to be out of there. There can't be too many pauses. So I try to just have fun and like be myself. I know that's something that sometimes we struggle with, like with making content, is like catch people's attention. So I'm trying to just stay hard, but be professional with it as well. So I'm still learning.
Well, you're learning quickly. It's effective. I've noticed, and I mean, since you're doing this, so who edits your videos? That's another question I want to. Are you doing
Thank
the
you.
editing?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, good job. Good job.
Yeah, I do it.
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know how to do any of the editing really myself. So I have someone do it for me. So I was wondering, I was like, did she got an editor already, or is she doing that?
Yeah. No,
You also,
your editor is amazing.
just shout to Kira. Uh,
It's so funny too.
but
Like I told you about how my son loves your videos. Like he cracks up. Like he's watched your
That's
videos like
awesome.
over and over. So it's
Thank
funny to
you.
see him like react to it. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're talking about you're nervous and talking and learning how to the communication thing, but I mean, you speak with confidence. So how did you?
Well,
Have
thank
you been
you. I really
practicing?
appreciate that. I do watch a lot of videos. I'm a big believer in constantly growing, constantly feeding yourself. I think it's just a pile of everything that I've been through, all the jobs I've been at. It has definitely helped me be confident, because we're in front of our guests. We have to serve with, high performance. We're dealing with, high clientele, high status clientele. So you definitely have to have that confidence. And then also saying was, I'm a very big believer in turning your vehicle into a university on wheels. So I don't listen to music anymore. I literally listen to just YouTube, the Bible app. I'll have audio playing. Always listening to something that I want to improve on, literally every single day. I think my husband's the only one that truly knows like how much I listen to, because I want to grow like literally every day. Like that's all I want to do. And I'm addicted to it. So I think just listening to how to become a better speaker. My husband's amazing at it. He's actually very gifted. He doesn't practice whatsoever when he teaches. He'll get on stage. He doesn't have any type of script, anything like that. So I watch him as well. So I kind of take a little bit from him. But I think that is the number one key, is like just at least acting confident. Maybe you aren't confident, but just act confident. I know when I was younger, I wasn't really confident, but I had to act it. You kind of have to become an actress, not be fake, but you kind of have to play this role to where eventually you become that person, and I think over time, like with what you said, like, wow, you seem so confident, like, wow, like that means a lot to me, because I don't see myself necessarily super confident in speaking. So that gives me more confidence. I think the more that you act that way, you actually like become it. So I'm still working on it too. But yeah, I like to just listen to videos. Speaking.
You're right. Fake it till you make
search it up and just listen to whoever. Yeah, but don't be fake. Be you. But yeah, just become the person that you want to become. Just try.
I completely agree, and I share a lot of similarities with that. I don't really listen to the music too much anymore. I'm listening to a lot of audiobooks, and I watch videos of people who I admire, and then I would like to be more like, or earn the type of money or live the lifestyle they are. So I'm like, if this is what they're doing, that means I have to do that so I can get to their level.
Exactly.
Who are some of your favorite people to follow that you look up to?
So Brian Tracy is like the number one that I'm listening to right now. So I'll switch, off, but right now I'm in the phase of Brian Tracy. And I like him because he brings up a lot of, I don't even want to say a lot, because he's not like full fledged, like in your face, but he'll throw a little like Bible scripture in there. And so I like that. I like that he's a big believer, and, he's super successful, and he speaks about a lot of things. So that's someone I can follow and hear a whole bunch of stuff with. And then, so yeah, that's pretty much the main person right now. As far as SMP wise, is that what you're asking, or just any?
No. I mean, in general.
Who else was I listening to? I read a lot of books too. I haven't been reading in a while because I've been so busy, but yeah, honestly, anyone. I'm pretty open to hearing anybody. Like if you send me a video, hey, listen to this, like I'm so open to it, and then I just get hooked. Like if it hits me, like I'm hooked, and I'll listen to you over and over and again, like the same video over and over. So it just resonates.
I know all about that. I've watched some videos, I feel like 100 times, and I feel like I can recite them, but it helps me. And sometimes I get goosebumps listening to the same video.
Right.
So you being a mom, so now you're done your job. How long did you work as a banquet server for?
About 8 years.
8 years. And you got into SMP, you took the class, you said during COVID?
It was December 2020.
Okay.
When I took my first class. I took my first class in California. And like I said, I didn't know anybody, like I didn't follow any artists or anything. I just saw an ad, and it was based in California, and I went out there. And then I wanted to get more continued education on it. And then that's when I ran into Chris with the Art of SMP. And I started following him, and I was like, oh my goodness, his work is amazing. So I zoom in on like his work and I'm like, how the f- did he do that? You know, like it's crazy how good he is. And that's when eventually I was like, dude, like I need to like learn from this guy, you know, and I would ask him questions like on the DM. I'm like, hey, what size needle was that? You know, and you know, Chris, he's about his money, so he doesn't give too much information away, but I respect that, you know. And he would say a little bit, but not all of the answer to where it's like, okay. And then he offered for me to come out and shadow him. So that's, I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know he did that. And so I went out there for a day and it was well worth it. Just even the day, like I learned so much. And I ended up shadowing him again, probably like a year and a half after the first time I shadowed him, which was in February this year. And so I don't know if you look at my Instagram, you can see starting March is when I actually like completely got serious with SMP. I posted something in March and in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to get serious. Because when I got licensed back in 2020, I wasn't too serious about it because of my job. So it was just taking too much out of me. And, you know, I would have a client here and there. Like I probably had two clients that I worked on as models, but that was pretty much it. I never had anybody that paid. And so, like I said, I saw Chris in February 2023 this year. And March, I was like, okay, I need to get serious with this. And yeah, ever since then, like I've just been posting, you know, as much as I could with like, you know, what was going on around me. So
You could tell that you've definitely been training hard because, I mean, for the amount of time, your work looks really, really fucking good. And I'm not just saying that. It does look good.
thank you. Thank you. I definitely
So you
have like a
flew.
whole group of people to help me. So shout out to the Blendz team. I just want to say, honestly, if it wasn't for them, I honestly would not be like here today, like with you. I don't believe that I would be because they're amazing. Like my whole team is amazing. Like between Erica from Fort Worth, you know,
Shout out to Erica.
Chris, you know, Kilber, you know, everyone's just been super cool. Alex. And whenever I need any help, I just ask them like, hey, what size did you use on, you know, what pigment did you use? Don Dada is from the UK. You know, he's helped me out a lot. So like I said, I snapshot their stuff and I'm like zoom in. I'm like, okay, what'd you do? Da-da-da, you know, so I'm not afraid to ask questions. And because of that, because of them helping me, like I'm just super grateful for them, like mentoring me and helping me along the way. And I definitely believe it's like helped me progress as fast as I have been. So thank you guys again.
Shout out to the Blends team. Don Dada's killing it.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And I've talked about, I used the Art of SMP needles. I have them along with some other needles, but I have them. And me and Chris are going to be doing something together in the near future.
Nice.
It's not public knowledge yet, but we're going to be doing a little something. It's important to have a support team. And that's good that you're able to reach out to them because in the beginning, like before, I would say, I guess the SMP, I'm sure even since you started, you've seen even more people come in, but earlier, like everything was a secret. Nobody would tell anybody shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's why it's a good time as an SMP artist to get in because, you know, you guys have been, you know, how long have you been doing SMP?
Coming into my 6th year.
Okay. Yeah. So you've been in it long enough to learn, you know, the trials and tribulations of it. You know, and I didn't know SMP's been around for so long. I mean, not long, but you know, 15 years, 10 years, something like that. So it's a good time to get in now because, you know, you have the people that have been in the game for a minute and that have been able to learn, you know, all the ups and downs of it. So it's a blessing to like be able to learn from you guys along the way.
Yeah, and the new technology I mean, just the fact that there's multiple needles and the new inks and the modifiers and the wireless. You use a wireless machine?
Yes, I have the Art of SMP.
Oh, he's got his own machine too.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know
it's
that. Oh,
yeah, it's
shout out to
really
Chris.
cool. It's super thick, so you don't have to waste as much bandage. So it's kind of already there for you. But yeah, I love it. It's super sleek, you know, I love the design of it. So I love it.
He's killing it with the supplies, the SMP supplies. Good for
Yeah.
him. What's your biggest challenge as a woman in the SMP industry? And I asked this to Erica too, because I feel like, because I have guys come in and everybody's dead serious, right? It's a secret. It's like, oh, I don't want anybody to know, blah, blah, blah. And I get that. But you're coming in and you see a pretty girl and you're like, oh shit, you're going to be the one seeing my bald head and fixing it. I mean, have you encountered anything like that yet where they're like, you know what? I changed my mind.
No, I don't think so. I mean, a lot of my clients have been really cool. They're super respectful. You know, I've had clients ask me like, hey, do you get any weirdos or anything? No, I mean, honestly, every single client's been super respectful. I don't get any weird vibes or anything like that. So yeah, I haven't experienced that, you know, thank God.
That's good. They probably see the
And
throat
two, I
tat and
feel
they're
like,
like, I'm not going to fuck with you.
well, too, I feel like, I mean, I do try to make my clients feel super comfortable. I don't, you know, I'm super open, like I'm super transparent. Like I'm just grateful to even have you in front of me, you know, for you to trust me with your scalp. You know, it's one of the first things that people see. So I let people know that, you know, I let people know, like, thank you for choosing me. I mean, I got that from Chris. He would tell his clients, thank you for choosing me, my brother, you know. So yeah, I'm just honestly, like, I just try to be transparent with them too and make them feel as comfortable as possible.
What's been the hardest part of is it the hairline? What's the hardest part for you learning? What was it?
For sure. The
The straight
for
line
sure.
or the natural?
A little bit of both, you know, because the natural, man, that's artistic right there. You know, that's what I fell in love with is like the natural hairlines, because it's like, what, like, how do you make that look so good? And it really is like art. You know, Chris has like the best name ever. It's the art of SMP for sure. And you kind of have to like, you know, one advice that I got from Cisco was, you know, there are no rules to art. So once he told me that, I was like, man, like that took me to a whole nother level because I felt like when I first started doing SMP, I kind of tried to replicate, you know, Chris. I try to replicate because, you know, I shadowed him. I saw how he did it. You know, Chris, he does it pretty deep, but not too deep, obviously, to where it blows out. And if I did that, it would not come out good, you know? So one thing I definitely had to learn was to like just do how you want to do it. Don't try to replicate how your favorite artist does it because they're completely different. They've been in the game for a minute, you know, and they know their way. They know their own style. And so I feel like once I got that advice, it kind of just clicked and I have my certain way of doing things and it's like it's art, it's coming to a point where it's art for me now versus like, okay, I got to get this perfect dot. You know what I mean? So now it's like I've become like my own artist, you know, now versus trying to be like someone else.
That it takes some people never figure that out.
And two, like you have to know what looks good too, right? My husband like made a good point. He was like, I mean, dude, like if you don't know what looks good, like how can it be good? So he was telling me like you've always had an eye for good work, not necessarily SMP, but you know, photography. Me and my husband used to do photography too. That's actually how we met because he was a photography and I started getting into it, and then we met in church, and that's how we got connected. But yeah, so that's a whole long other story on another day, maybe. But yeah, so I've always had the eye for like good quality work, I believe. So yeah, that's what he reminded me. He's like, "Babe, you just have the eye." So I think because of that, like you already know what's going to look good, and you already know how to get there because you already know what's good quality. So.
And did he teach you how to cut hair? Because he's a successful barber. I mean, because a lot of people don't know how to like do a fade or anything.
No, not yet. I did tell him, I was like, babe, you need to teach me how to cut your hair. Like, I feel bad when he has to go like somewhere else. And sometimes he won't get a haircut. And I'm like, dude, you're a barber. He's like, I don't want to bug nobody. And he wears hats a lot too. So, but I'm like, but you're a barber. You got to like, look, you know, you got to play the part all the time. But I guess, I mean, some people, I mean, they can go weeks without haircuts. So,
Yeah, yeah. And I like what you said about being an artist because I felt the same way. I never had a product to sell, and I'm sure you're realizing this too. And once you have something to sell, you could be as creative as you want, and you could say what you want and be who you are. People are going to pick you because they want to come to you, right? And so it's like, take it or leave it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I'm learning is just being yourself, you know, don't try too hard, you know, just be yourself, become the best version of yourself. Listen to something every single day. You know, I have to listen to something. If I don't, I'll go crazy, like seriously, because I'm with my kids all the time. I don't do anything. I'm always working or just with my family. So I have to listen to stuff because, you know, you have younger ones, right? How old are your kids?
Yeah. My son will be 3 and my daughter turned a month old today.
Oh, congratulations, by the way, on that. So yeah, so wow, you're gonna have 2, you know, little ones running around pretty soon, and you know, it gets hectic trying to deal with the different personalities. So that's why I like to listen to stuff because it kind of like just zones me out and kind of takes me, you know, back where I need to, uh, with all the hecticness going on. So
I agree. I
and
agree. I mean, listening to
seriously,
just
like
a
you'll
motivational speech every morning is it really sets you up for the day to be successful. I've run into the situation where you know, basically, let's say somebody has thin hair on top, right? And they don't want to shave their head. They're like holding on by a thread, and we all know they should shave it off, but they don't want to.
Mhm.
So if you shave the sides really short, almost basically like a military style cut, it looks a lot thicker and fuller on top. So I noticed that if I can give them a fade and then do the SMP, it's going to look a lot better versus just leaving it all one
Mhm.
length. Because I'm not sure if you've encountered it yet
Right.
or if you have, but there's people who refuse to shave those, you know, that limited amount of hair on
Oh
top.
yeah. Yes.
And
Yeah,
you
and
try not
you
to
know the
push
clients
them.
that right, right. And the clients that do trust you and they do shave it, I'm like, oh, see, thank you. And they do. They finally see it. They see the results from listening to you, and they're so much more happier, you know. And I'm like, see, like, thank you for trusting me. So, yeah, I think it's hard for people to let go of the little bit that they have. So, it's understandable, but it's like, look, like you're coming to a different page now. Like, it's okay, like spread your wings, you know. So that's something I'm trying to like get people to understand. Like I promise I'm not trying to set you up. Like I know you're gonna look so much better and you're gonna be happier, but you know, at the end of the day it's their decision, you know, whether they trust you or not, or whether they go with it or not. So
I like that you said spread your wings. That's true, and they're blossoming, they're growing, they're flying away with the new look. Where's do you do your procedures out of? Are you renting? Are you doing it out of your house? Where do you do it at?
yeah, I'm renting. I'm at a studio salons, or I'm sorry, salon studios. Yeah, there's a whole bunch out here. So yeah, I'm just renting.
How does that work?
Um,
I'm not familiar with it.
you just pay weekly.
Okay,
A certain
okay.
amount, yeah, depending on the size that you have is depending on the price. So yeah,
Do you
weekly.
have the same spot every time?
Yeah, like that's my studio. Like I have my stuff there. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like it's a salon with people are doing all different things, and then you have your area or your room, and is that how it works? I'm not familiar with
So
it.
yeah, yeah. So it's one big building with multiple rooms, like 100 square feet rooms, up to like 400. And you set it up like it's your own, and you have a key and everything, and it's yours. You just stay in that one.
Okay, and you pay week. I like how you said you have a key because instantly that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, is people still going to steal your shit?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's legit yours. You're just renting it. It's like you're renting an apartment. So the same thing, same
Okay.
concept. And then, you know, there's people with different businesses all around you, people that do hair, nails, makeup, whatever you want to have, you can have it set up there.
It's a smart idea, though. I mean, I don't know if they have them around on the East Coast.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's very smart. I actually want to get into it. So let's pray that we can actually do commercial real estate because yeah, I mean, you just got to have the building and have somebody to, you know, manage it, and that's it.
yeah, I mean,
They're
that's a
making
big
money. They're
opportunity.
making money.
And I mean, where you're at, there's so many people. I mean, I could think of at least 3 people out in Vegas right now, along with you. Have you met the other people? Are you guys all cool? Do you talk to them or no?
No, I mean, I've met
No?
one person
Everybody.
because she referred somebody to me for their beard. So shout out to Jazz for that. She does eyebrows. But yeah, no, I honestly, I'm in and out. Like I literally just come do my, my client and then I leave. So.
Okay. What's your work-life balance? Now, I know it's only been 3 weeks, but what's your work-life balance with, as being a full-time mom, that's your first job. What's that like being an entrepreneur as well as being a full-time mom?
Crazy. Crazy. There's days I want to cry. There's days I cry. There's days I cry in the shower. But no, but it's all worth it. It really is. It's hectic, with 3 kids. All 3 of my kids go to 3 different schools. And like I said, we moved farther. So our oldest goes to a vocational school. She's actually going for Cosmo. So she's going to graduate with her Cosmo license. But we're like 35 minutes out from that. And so, for example, I'll have a client. Okay, I'll take you through my day. So we wake up around like 6 a.m. Whether it's me or my husband, we take my oldest to school, and that's like 35 minutes out. And then I come back. If I do take her to school, I come back. I start getting ready if I have a client, and then I get my son ready while I'm getting myself ready. And then I take him to school at 9 a.m. And then I have my client at 10 a.m. Every time I have a client, I schedule them at 10 a.m. And I'm there probably till like 2. And then I clean up or I'll record content, whatever. And then I have to leave by like 2:30 and get my son by 3:11. Once I'm done picking up my son from there, I go pick up my oldest, and then I pick up my middle child after football practice. So I don't get home till like 5. So
You pick up all 3 kids?
All the way from 6 a.m. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes my husband will get off sooner and help out, of course. If he can do it, he'll do it. But yeah, if he's working, yeah, I pick them up.
That's a lot of driving. Well, good for you for the dedication being a mom. I mean,
thank you. I actually had to get a new battery because I was freaking driving so much. And during the summertime, my shit just fucking stopped working. The AC stopped working. And I'm thinking, okay, you have to do that. What is it called? What do you put in there to make it cold? No, to make it cold.
Oh, the coolant. The coolant.
Okay, the coolant. So I buy that thing, where you like shake it up and you have to like put it in there, right? And it wasn't working. And then all of a sudden, like my battery starts dying on me. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I go to the auto shop and they told me that I need a new battery. And they said, yeah, it's probably because you've just been driving so much, because I told them that we moved and I've been picking up the kids and stuff. So yeah, I had to get a whole new battery during the summer.
And you got to have air conditioning. You need coolant, antifreeze, right?
Yeah.
And it's in Vegas, it's always hot. So you got to have air conditioner. Yeah. I woke up, it was 28 degrees this morning.
Oh my gosh. My husband would love that. We just went to Reno for our anniversary. Oh yeah. Happy anniversary to you and your wife. I saw that on your page. I was like, I was snooping through your Instagram to find out anything about you too.
Ditto.
But yeah, happy anniversary. My husband and I, our dating anniversary was on October 18th. So we went out to Reno and like hung out with each other, some quality time out there, but it's freezing. And my husband's like, dude, this isn't even that cold. He loves cold weather. He wants to move. Like he hates the summertime. So he would love that, living out there.
I mean, Vegas is a whole different animal in the summer. That you guys don't get any rain, and it gets like over 100 degrees multiple.
Oh, we get rain. We got a lot of it.
Really?
This past year, we got a lot of, floods.
Huh.
It was bad. I mean, we didn't get it that bad, like on my side of town, because we're like more higher, but yeah, it was really bad for some people. Like I saw videos where their trucks were being pulled with just rivers of water. Yeah, it was bad. So we actually get a lot of rain, or once in a while we get snow. So it's bipolar weather out here. You never know, seriously, in Vegas.
So being in Vegas, since moving out there, do you still have family in California, or is everybody in where you're at now?
Yeah, no, it's just me. My husband, my dad. He is in San Diego now. So he was in Sacramento, and then he got stationed out in San Diego because he became a correction officer. So he moved over there.
Okay.
But it's nice. It's nice to like be able to visit somewhere nice like that, with the kids.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I knew somebody in San Diego to go visit, right? Uh, I was
Right.
reading like
Yeah, their
you. I
weather's
was I was looking at
perfect.
all your stuff, and I saw, and I'm glad you brought it up already though. But your dad, basically, your dad took you on once you came from the Philippines. You continued to stay with him. So, do you have dual citizenship for the Philippines and U.S.?
Um, I don't know. How would I know that?
I don't know.
So,
Could you? Are you allowed to go back to the Philippines and just live there without doing anything?
no, I don't think so because I am an American citizen now. Okay. I wasn't for like the longest. It's such a funny story. So when I moved out here and I had to change over my driver's license for Vegas, they were like, "Oh, where's your alien card or where's your citizenship?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm super American. My family's never talked to me about that stuff." And I'm like, "What?" And so I hit up my mom and she's like, "Oh yeah, you need this and you need this." And I'm like, "Okay." So I ended up finding out I had an alien card. I was actually an immigrant still. And I moved to Vegas when I was 18. I'm like, what the fuck? Right. And so I start doing all that stuff, but it's a hassle. It's a hassle to get any of that stuff done. So I had to get a
Oh,
temporary
that's
work
brutal.
card and I had to renew it every year in order to work or it would expire and I wouldn't be able to work. And that's just in the midst of trying to get my citizenship. But obviously when I got married, like I became a citizen from that.
Okay, so you didn't have to take like
Like
the test or
actually,
anything?
oh, thank God, no. Yeah, I guess there was a law that passed that if one of your parents became a citizen before I was the age of 18, then it automatically makes me a citizen without having to take the test. But I still had to like
Nice.
freaking go through a whole milestone with stuff. I don't. It's crazy. Honestly, I was like, man, this is crazy. Like the amount of stuff I have to go through for this. Like they almost had to call security on me because I got really loud with the people at the window because they do not care. And I was pregnant, trying to deal with it. And I was getting so mad. Like they legit kicked me out because I was furious. Like they don't listen to you. They don't care what your story is. I'm like, dude, look, like listen to my accent. I'm super Americanized. Just listen to my story. That's all I want you to do. So finally, another person overheard me. I had to schedule another appointment because they won't take you like just walk in. You have to schedule an appointment. It takes like weeks, sometimes months to get seen. So based off of one of the times I was there trying to explain to one person, another person overheard me and they were like, you know what, I'll come over here. I hear what you're saying, da da da. And it's like, thank you. Like he knew what to do because he just listened to my story. Like, this is a situation. I have no idea about this, that, and that. My mom is this, that, and that, and so because one person listened, I was able to like speed up the process of getting things handled. But yeah, they don't care.
Hey, that's a good example of being
I
persistent.
I got oh yeah, I was persistent because I had to work, I had to get my license to work out here.
Yeah, that the amount of things people have to deal with, and I mean, you pretty much just grew up here your entire life anyway. So it's I don't get
Right.
it. Let me ask you this. We still got a couple minutes. Have you ever considered? So I know a little background. So I know that
Oh, we can
things are
go
a
we
lot
can go
cheaper.
longer if you need to. We can go longer if you need to.
Okay, I
Because I
know
know
things are
we were planning
cheaper
that. So
in Philippines, right?
oh yeah, way
We're
cheaper.
good.
You
We're
you'll
good.
live like a king out there.
So So that's what I was wondering. Did you ever have plans to like save up a bunch of money and go back to the Philippines and live like a royalty?
I do. Oh, well, I wouldn't move there. No, I wouldn't move, but I definitely want to go. I want to start a nonprofit organization out there, actually. So that's like one of my dreams. During the pandemic, we did a lot of charity work out there. We sent some money to my cousin. I just pretty much talked to my cousin and her family. But yeah, we've done charity bags out there. So I'll send them money and then they'll go prepare food bags and we pass out gifts out there. So that's like one of the biggest reasons why I do what I do, why I do what I want to do is because I just want to give back. I grew up very poor out there. I was pretty much in the slums, like all dirt, floods, knee high. So I definitely want to go back to give you know, uh, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful out there. The spirit is beautiful out there. The people out there have such good spirits. You know, you go out there and you get a reality check. You know, the things that we complain about out here, it's like, dude, why are we complaining about this? You know, like we have so much out here. We have so much help. You know, we have welfare. You know, and they don't have welfare out there. They don't have nobody giving them money. So it's important. And I want to do it for my kids. I definitely want to remind them, like, look, this is where I came from. And if it wasn't for my dad meeting my mom and bringing us out here, like I would still be there. You know, I literally help my family just for them to eat. If I don't help them, like they're not eating, they're only eating rice. And, you know, my husband and I helped my family start a business out there so that they can fish on their own, you know, versus us trying to always do everything for them. So yeah, that's the biggest reason why I would want to go back is to give, definitely.
That's amazing. I love to hear that. And congrats to you for being able to not only recognize the opportunity and being grateful for what you have here, but also realizing there you still have family back there and taking action to actually give, you know, give them resources so they can make their life better.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely important, you know, to never forget because a lot of the times, you know, we pray for the things that we get, or maybe we don't pray and we get it, you know, and we forget like what it took to get there. You know, it's important to always reflect on everything that you've been through and what it took to get, you know, where you are today. And I think that's the biggest thing with entrepreneurship is, and that's what I'm learning too, you know, it brings out a certain character in you. And it's important to reflect on like the type of character that you're turning into, you know, the type of person that you're becoming when you're chasing after whatever it is that you're chasing after. I think that's super important to be real with ourselves and, you know, to become a good person, like while trying to chase success, whatever it is that success is to you. And being able to look at yourself in the mirror and just know that you're a good person and, you know, you being able to help people that are in need, you know, it's super important.
Completely agree. I completely agree. Now, do you plan on making a trip there? I know it's really expensive and it takes like what, 18, 20 hours to get there?
Yeah, I was trying to go out there during the pandemic, but then the pandemic happened and I was
Uh,
like, nope, I'm not taking any chances of going anywhere for a while.
being
So yeah, it's
stuck.
kind of been put on it's been put on the back burner. So I do want to try to make it out there next year. So I don't see why we wouldn't go next year. So
You gonna take the whole family?
no, probably just me and my husband. I've been told,
Okay.
you know, by my Filipino friends and coworkers, they're like, yeah, just you and your husband, just so you can kind of scope it out and kind of see how everything goes. And that way we're kind of prepared, you know, with our kids. So
Yeah, I do hear it's a very safe country. It's very, very safe from what I hear. In fact, they're very strict on some of the things.
yeah,
I had a friend who recently moved out there.
it's just corrupt. It's super corrupt.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. That's what it is for sure. But yeah, I mean,
I
it's
know you're not
definitely
allowed to smoke
beautiful
weed.
to visit. Yeah.
I know that they'll let you drink until you have liver disease, but you're not allowed to smoke any weed. That's what I've been told.
Oh, okay. Okay. Don't bring weed. Don't bring weed, honey.
Uh,
No weed for us. No, I'm just kidding.
It looks beautiful. It really does. And it's like 7,000 islands or something crazy like that, right? Now,
Yeah.
was your
Yeah.
family on the biggest one where Manila is?
We're near Manila. We're from Cavite
Okay.
City. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you have an incredible story, by the way. I mean, just coming to, you know, the whole situation with your mom and dad and then coming to the US, obviously you didn't know anyone and then basically starting your life over. And then you find out you don't have basically full citizenship, even though you think you do, because it's where you lived, and working the job full time. I mean, it's an incredible story. You should be proud of everything that you have accomplished so far. And you've just
Thank you.
started, you know, just started reaching your potential in entrepreneurship?
My name is Jonnazel Vaz with Vegas SMP, and shout out to Joey with Delaware SMP. Thank you so much for allowing me to be on your podcast. I had a great time, and I look forward to more in the future. And again, shout out to you. You are super entertaining. You're a great SMP artist. And yeah, thank you for giving us the platform to shine our light. If you want to follow me on IG, it's at Vegas SMP. Or you can go to my website at www.vegassmp.com. Or if you want to hit me up, call me, text me your scalp photos, 702-887-1190.